Most likely we are live, but again, let me just double check. I have to do that stuff really. There we are. There we go. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world, beautiful souls. Today is another Tuesday, another episode of the Truth Runners Talk Show. And I have the great pleasure and honor to have with me today a beautiful soul, a friend, a soul sister, Reverend Melvinia Ford. Thank you so much for joining me today, Melvinia.
Hi, how are you doing? It is a pleasure to finally be on here on Truth Runners. I'm excited to be here with you.
Thank you. Melvina is new to the Truth Runners. So what I'm going to do, as I always, I'm going to introduce her, guys, so you know who is she, what is she doing, this beautiful soul. And then we are going to dive into our topic. I absolutely love the title of the topic what we choose for today. So let's see how that's going to unfold. So Coach Reverend Melvinia Ford is a holistic life coach and counselor, certified Usui Reiki master practitioner, a meditation practitioner, and a metaphysical minister. She is an alumni. Thank you. Alumni English. Sorry, guys. Of the University of Metaphysics and currently a doctoral student. She is also a student with the Empower Achieve Succeed Master Program. She is actually an instructor Empower Achieve Succeed Master Program under her mentor, grandmother, elder, and shaman, Enolia Froti from Angola. Melvinia's heart's passion is the empowerment of the heart, more specifically women. Healing is so important when dealing with trauma, depression, suicide, abandonment, and abuse, just to name a few. She is the author of What the Hell? A Life Testimony about her self-healing journey. She found out years later that there was a name for it, cognitive behavioral therapy, which she is also certified in, along with art therapy. And her art is amazing, I'm telling you. Reverend Melvinia's training started in 1998 from a 12-hour stay in a psychiatric ward for attempted suicide. She used what she learned through her healing to help others as well. She found for herself that psychiatry, God, English, and medicine were not the path for her, not discounting it, but instead discovered that her healing was within, which is for everyone. You can reach out to Coach Reverend Melvinia on her social media platforms, which I'm going to add actually in the comments after this live. Her website is www.rebirthholistic.com, and you also can contact her via email at rebirthdimensions@gmail.com. But again, I'm going to say, we're going to share her social media platform so you can reach out to Melvinia after the live anytime. So welcome, and I do apologize for my really bad English on introducing you today.
Don't worry about it. I still love you. It's all good.
So you guys, please accept my apologies for that. Okay, let's start with this. The title, the topic today is the heart of a woman. But before that, I know that I read your bio in very bad English, so I'm going to repeat that. But I would love to ask you, who is the real Melvinia?
Oh gosh. Wow. You know what? It took me a long time to figure out myself, the real me. And it was a 20+ year journey. Simply because I had always lived my life through the eyes of everyone else, and this starts with everyone in life, childhood. Once I, it did mention in the bio that you read, went through the suicidal attempt. That was my beginning of what is life about, first of all. What am I here for? Why am I going through all of this, And at the time and during my healing, the question was always, why does this keep happening to me? But that has now changed to why is it happening for me. I began a journey of looking back at everything in my life, everything from, all the way back to childhood as to where the pain really truly began. And I started to disseminate some of the things. And through the 20 plus years, even recently this year, literally from the EAS training, I began to take off the last bit of those layers of the onion that was the Melvinia that I thought I was. And there are some parts of me that I still want to keep. The best parts, which are from my mother, my father, both my grandparents, grandparents on both sides. They did have some traits that were positive, even though they lived some hard, treacherous lives, unfortunately, painful, but whatever it is, I took the best out of them and I found who I am. And so to answer that question, Melvina, wow, I'm loud. I used to think that was a bad thing. I'm loud, and I know now it's for a reason. I have I can be stubborn. I'm very passionate about what I do. I care about people, and I think that was one of my weaknesses too, because I cared so much. So I just, I wanted people to love me and like me. So I put down what I still didn't know what I wanted, but I put down what I possibly could have wanted to be liked. So in this life now, if you like me, I like you. If you love me, I love you. If you don't, I still love you. May not care if you like me or not, but I still love you, because that's the light I'm supposed to emanate. That's the light I need to emanate, because it's not about me. It's not about this flesh. It's not about flesh, period, or human being. It's about the light within us that's to help other people. So that's what I focus on. So Melvina is, now I understand who I am. I'm not this costume I have on, shall I say. I am actually the spirit within. And I feel like a lot of the things that I do, especially videos, I'll come on here, even though my hair is natural, it could be like lopsided, and I'll be dressed in 5 different colors. But my whole motto of that is, if you're looking on the outside, you're looking wrong. I feel like you need to look at me on the inside to get the message. There's a message inside of me that everyone needs to hear. And if you can't get past the exterior, then you're going to be in a place where you can't hear everyone, because we're so stuck on ego. We're so stuck on persona. We're so stuck on image that we can't hear the lesson that that needs to be that needs to come across to each of us at that specific time that person is in your life, or you see them on the video. So I'm a giver, I'm a carer. I care a lot. I don't know how not to. I'm very highly empathic, to the point where sometimes I have to shut down, but I do care about, baseline, the heart of a woman, because of what my mom endured, what both my grandmothers endured, that no one in my family really talked about. It was, in that time, you just don't talk about it. You either don't talk about it to save the family, or you talk about it so you can keep the family together. You don't talk about it because it's too painful. We're just going to act like it doesn't exist, or we're going to sweep it under the rug. And me being the youngest, I believe, on both generations and on both sides of my family, I was the one that had the questions. No one answered the questions. Those who knew the answers as much as possible, they answered them. Sometimes it was in anger, sometimes it was in resentment or pain, but I had to get past all that to see and hear what I needed to hear. So I understood what my grandmothers, especially my grandmothers and my mom, went through, because I saw the path that I took. I saw the path that my sisters were on. All of us different paths. And I just looked at it from a bird's eye view. And I'm like, somehow this has to stop. The pain, the hurt of it all. And I guess I was the one that finally decided, okay. So it became the heart of a woman. We've always been the heart of just family, period. We're the heart. We hold things in. We try to keep the family intact. We always do that. But at the same time, we're sinking, we're drowning, we're holding all this anger and pain and whatever in, and it's killing us. But everyone else is still going. We're going, but we're faking it till we make it, basically. So everything that I do now is to help a woman find her voice, speak out, get it out of you, talk about it. If you need a break, say you need a break, talk it out, just don't hold it in anymore, because what happens is if your mom or your grandmother had an issue or whatever she dealt with and she didn't deal with it, she just, sucked it up and buried it. She had a child or children, it transferred into those children. Those children have children. It transfers into those children. Okay, when is the cycle going to stop? So now we have to go back and clean this up for those who really, really, really and truly want to heal. So baseline, heart of a woman, that's who Melvinia is.
And that's a beautiful heart in Melvinia, I have to tell you, because Melvinia has a beautiful light, what you're sharing in the word. And there were so many things in this couple of words what you just said. You were talking about people pleasing tendencies, right? And then you were talking about getting to a point when you actually said, okay, that's it, I don't want to live this life anymore, right? And then you were talking about how you realized, oh, okay, the life is still worth living. And the most brave what you did really literally was, I said, okay, I'm taking on this, and it literally stops with me.
Yes.
And now that's courage. This is how I would define courage. How would you define courage? Or what would you say? I mean, it takes a lot of guts, saying, okay, I've seen my mom, my grandmother, I've seen my grandparents, right? I've seen my sisters, the whole family from above. And I'm like, okay, this needs to stop. And say, okay, I'm going to take all this on, and it stops with me, right? And that's a lot of work. A lot of work. Can you share about that a little bit? Literally, where did it started? What was the point when you said, okay, that's it and no more? And what was the point when you said, oh, hold on, I have a purpose and I want to live for this?
So, wow. Trying to figure out, okay. I had the questions. I was one of those inquisitive children. I always wanted to know about my mom. My grandmother I was only able to get tidbits of each, so I had to try to put this puzzle together as best I could. I looked at my life and the path I was on. I asked questions of my grandmother, how my mother's life was. I do know some things that even I don't think she shared with some of my siblings on my mom's side. They went through some situations before me. My mom was divorced to her first husband, which is my sibling's dad. I don't know what happened in that situation. I just know she was divorced. Then my mom ended up with another man who was abusive to her. She began to drink. I don't know what she was before him. Can't speak on that. But during that time, my dad gave me the information because this is how he met her. She was in a relationship with a man who was abusive to her. He took her from Michigan to Indiana with 3 children, young children at the time, very young. My mom, she had she used to drink beer a lot, put it like that. A lot, to the point where, it just, alcohol takes over. Only thing I can attribute it to is the life that she was in the midst of. You're in the midst of an abusive relationship. You don't see any way out. You have 3 children. You're not working. You're trying to figure out life, and you feel like it's just no tomorrow. So the kids are suffering. I heard the stories of eating out of dumpsters and everything, and that saddened me to see that my sisters went through that. So she met my dad. My dad was able to pull her out of that situation with that man. Got her back on her feet, took care of her 3 children from a previous marriage, and he had already had a previous marriage himself. She dealt with that. He pulled her out of that situation, and they got married. Eventually, here I came. So you have children still that have not literally healed from it. They were pulled from the situation, but they haven't healed. So who knows? then you take that piece of it, hold on to it, and you go to my dad's side. My grandmother, she was, how do I say this? So my father on my dad's side was the product of the slave and a slave owner. My grandfather. He then apparently when he got older, he married, I don't know if she probably wasn't a slave at the time, but she was an African American. He married her. They got married. She passed away, but this was not my grandmother and her siblings' dad. So he must have, the only thing we can come up with is he must have been sold away. So my grandfather married my great grandmother. My grandmother and them already, like I said, they had a father of their own. We don't know where he is, what happened to him. Somewhere we think he got sold off. Hence, the great grandmother passed away. Now, mind you, when she passed away, my grandmother was about 13. And, I think she was the oldest. I'm not sure, but I believe she was. And I think she had maybe 2 other sisters. This grandfather married my grandmother after my great grandmother passed. Now, this was her stepfather, not her father. He married her. She married her. He had kids by her, 4 or 5 technically. 4 died. The 5th one died when he was young. Then not only that, he chased the second sister, had I think 2 more children by her. So this is the man my grandmother ran from most of her life until she got older. But every time the stories were told, every time she ran, he caught her, she'd get pregnant. He was abusive to her. My dad told me the stories of him. He was 5 years old. So you see it on both sides of what the lineage is dealing with. So when I go to an adult and I'm asking my siblings and everyone about it, I think not too many people told me the stories. My dad told me the stories. My grandmother told me what she knew. Grandmother, my mom did not really have a relationship with her father because when she was born, his family rejected my grandmother and the baby. So my grandmother ended up getting married to my step grandfather, who took my mother in as his child. And then they had 2 more children, later on in life when they were married. My mother tried to go somewhere again. Her father came in her life when she was 5 years old. Grandmother didn't know what happened, but she went to stay for the summer and she came back within a week. And she didn't say what happened. My grandfather didn't tell my grandmother what happened. No one knows what's happened, but we do know that my grandmother said my mom was really sad. She didn't talk about it, but she did cry a lot. I remember that because I remember when I was 5 years old. Nope, I take that back. 3 years old because she died when I was 3. That was around the time I could remember a lot. She used to cry a lot. She's had these crying spells in the bed and I didn't understand it. I didn't know that was depression. So whatever she had been carrying since she was a child had been following her this whole time in every relationship she'd been in. Even her and my dad had some tumultuous ups and downs. They loved each other dearly though. But when you have 2 people coming from 2 damaged lifestyles, I mean, what are you going to get with children? So that brings me to today. After all the questions I asked with all the, it was my duty to make sure that I ended what was going on with myself, my siblings, my sisters on both sides, because I see all the patterns. I was the one that looked at it with my mother and my grandmothers. I'm like, they went through a lot and they were strong. Every last one of these women, all of them were strong in their own rights just to survive, if not for themselves, for their children. But they never at one time had a chance to put themselves first. So for me, I was like, I got to do this for my mom. I have to. And it just broke my heart to see what she went through. It broke my heart into a million pieces. I'm like, this is for my mom. All the women. It got to the point went from her to all of them. And so when I started seeing my own patterns, I thank God that I didn't deal with physical abuse. I'm glad I didn't go through alcoholic abuse or substance abuse. I've seen that on both sides of my family with siblings. I've seen it, and I see the pattern. But I've gone through some pains, and I've gone through some abuses, some emotional abuses. I've been lost, and I'm like, this has to stop. This has to stop, because what got me was when I went to the psych ward. What got me was when, after that, I was going through literally my own 12-step phase of recovery. What got me was the fact that I was angry at every relationship, expecting certain things. And what finally was like, I got tired of getting up in the middle of the night at 2 and 3 in the morning, remembering things from my past of what happened to me and crying about it so much, and just angry and mad and screaming and yelling. And I'm like, I'm over this. I'm over it. I'm done with this. I don't want this anymore. So I began the process. No one had to tell me. I began the process of, if there was someone I hurt, I made sure I tried to get to them to apologize. And it was not easy. If someone hurt me, I forgave it. I let it go. As much as it hurt, I knew it. And there was one particular woman to this day, and she's passed away now, rest her soul. There was a relationship I had got into with. Of course, I was lost. I admit it, made mistakes. She was a married woman, and it was her husband. Lost, completely lost. And that's what really sent me to the psych ward. And years later, I want to say 2009, possibly, I think I got in contact with her because I found her on Facebook through someone else that I knew on Facebook, and then a whole group of people I knew living in California. And I inboxed her, and I knew that was someone because I could not get past the pain of hearing her voice on the phone when she was talking to her husband at the time. And I heard her cry, and everything inside me broke into a million pieces. And I still, to this day, I'm grateful because I reached out to her and inboxed her, and it was like the hardest thing in the world for me to ever do in my life was to apologize to this woman, because I heard her pain, and I couldn't get that sound out of my, I couldn't get it out. It would not let me rest. I just couldn't. So finally I got a chance to apologize to her. And the funny thing about this was, when she replied, it was so quick. And she was like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. It's all good. It's in the past. I still love you. We all learn from things or whatever. She said, here's my number. Give me a call. You would literally think that I would get better. Now, mind you, that happened in 1998. Talked to her in 2009 when she forgave me. I couldn't forgive myself after she said that. So I went 10 more years holding on to that voice I kept hearing, no matter what, even though she would check on me. How are you doing? What are you doing? Is it gonna be okay? I could not let it go. It just broke me into, I couldn't. Finally, she passed 2019. And right before that, a year before that, 2018, I was able to let it all go. I was able to release it and let it go. Forgive myself. She had forgiven me. I couldn't forgive myself. I finally let go. And the next year, let me tell you what happened. I was at work. I just got off work, driving my car, going home. And we're not supposed to be scrolling on Facebook anyway, but I was. Like, I'm just trying to find something. And I saw her daughter's posting on Facebook. And she said, I just lost my best friend. So I'm reading this thinking it's someone of her close friend. I'm like a friend. And all of a sudden she said, my mom. And all of a sudden my car was on the road like this, like, whoa. I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. Everything got dizzy, blurry and everything. I was like, just literally, wait, hold on. I had to hurry up, pull off the road into a parking lot. And I couldn't believe it. So I got on Facebook, parked the car, got on Facebook, and I scrolled over to her mom's page, because I'm like, I need to know if this is real. Did I just see what I just saw? And I knew it was real because we were all in the choir together. We sang together, and her best friend posted. And the minute I saw his name, I said, it's real. I don't remember what happened after that. Literally, I got out. I know I got out the car. Everything just, I had chest pains. I got out the car. My chest started hurting because I put the phone down. I was walking aimlessly through a park, shopping, a grocery store parking lot. So, you know, cars are going all over the place. It didn't even dawn on me. I'm just trying to find somewhere because everything didn't make sense. It literally, and my chest was hurting so bad, I literally was about to hit the ground, and I was reaching out for one of the carts in the carports, you know, the little buggy ports. And it was so far, and I seemed like I could not get to it fast enough. And I had to hurry up and get over there. I mean, it felt like it took forever to get to the cart. And I broke down. I couldn't talk. I couldn't think. I don't even know how long it took me it took me for a few months after that, after she passed, because the first thing I thought about when I found out in that moment, I'm like, you can't die. This is how I thought I had gotten over it. I said, no, you can't die. You can't die. You forgave me. You can't die. You just can't happen. It was like, as long as she was alive, I guess in the back of my head, as long as she's alive and she forgave me, I'm okay. The minute she died, everything was canceled. No, you can't do this. You just know. I was a wreck. It took me about another year after that to get back on level ground and breathe and be able to let things go, let people go. And that was it. It was her heart. And I had broke it, and it worked my soul. I'm like, okay, I got it. So that's why that tagline, it's not just for my mother and my grandparents, it's for that woman. Because in the midst of all that hell, she forgave me. You know, it meant a lot. And she still, I love the fact that where I'm at now in my life, to be able to see that, because it's helped me to understand who we should be as people in general. We're so quick to hold grudges and anger and judgment against people for the rest of their lives, thinking they'll never change. But every last one of us on this earth has messed up in some way, has done something they wish they hadn't have done in some way, and we've had to learn the lessons. And that's the growth part for all of us.
Okay. I'm not sure on that side, guys, but it might be though my internet, because I think. Are you with me, Melvinia?
Yep, I see you. I'm here. Can you hear me?
You're back. It
Okay,
might have been my internet. Yes. Okay, good. I can hear you now. Can you please say again your last sentence? Because I couldn't hear it. So just because that was really important while you were just sharing. So can you just please say it again?
Sure. So what I was saying is, because of her forgiveness and her love for me, it's where I feel like the heart of a woman, it's not just for my mom, for my grandparents and so on, or my sisters, but it's also because this woman, she forgave me, and you know, she showed me something that most of us don't do. We judge people according to what they've done, and we hold them to that, and we do not let it go. You know, we don't let it go. We say, we have a feeling that people can't change. People do change, but at the same time, we forget that we're all guilty of something that we should have never done.
Wow.
Or wish we hadn't have done.
First, thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm going to read Vicky. Vicky said, heart of the woman can be the path one goes through to discover who you really are. And I think that was your path. And the whole bloodline, the women in your bloodline, their past. They've been trying to discover who they are, right? And the level of understanding and awareness of where they have been. And I believe that each one of us, we do our best with the knowledge what we have and with the resources what we have and with the awareness what we have at a specific time. And look at you, you're here, you're empowering a woman by sharing your story from all around the world, really, and that's absolutely fantastic. Fatima said, thanks for sharing. Yes, I agree, and I do too. And it's a hell of a lot of journey. And for you, it takes a lot of courage really to share with the world everything what happened and how you overcome this. Because we've been on this journey, and I love actually that you mentioned that, and we're talking about forgiveness, right? Because that's the hardest thing. And really, it's not forgiving others. Me personally, I don't think that's the hardest part. The hardest part is forgiving ourselves, as you were saying as well, right? And we learn and we know that yes, forgiveness is for self, for us. Could you please share with me what changed and how would you share, or what is it that you would love to do for women to share the message to help them to get through, on traumas or, life circumstances, which may be or may not be similar to yours. But let me tell you something. Every story what we hear, yours or mine, it always resonates with someone. Maybe not the whole story, but bits and parts of it, we all had it. All. I recognize myself in many parts of your story, actually. Many. Same. And I'm sure that whoever listens or watches us now or in the replay, maybe not the whole story, okay, not the full package, let's put it that way, but part of it, absolutely, because at the end of the day, we are all the same. We all have the same past. We have it for a reason, I know, but it's there for us to learn. But in order to understand that, okay, that was given me to grow, to learn, to change. When we are in it, it's hard.
What can I share? Wow. One thing I want to tell that I had to learn, I've learned so many things. Wow, I have so many seeds. The one thing is be honest with yourself. Honesty is key to everything. Own up to it. If you did it, own it.
Own it. Sure.
Cleansing is owning. Owning is cleansing. Also, the one thing that I'm noticing that in my women groups, except for the ones who actually understand this themselves, talking about situations is healing. When you tell your story, I don't care how good or bad it is. I mean, I'm telling you about a situation that I was in with a married man. I ended up in a psych ward behind that. Literally wanted to take my life behind it. But at the same time, and there's no excuse with the but, I was lost. I can admittedly say I was lost. When you can admit your flaws, when you can accept your flaws, instead of saying, but you know what, they did this and they did that. No, because you took a part in it. Yes, I was there. I was completely there and lost there. Lost there. All you had to do was say something to me to get me to do whatever. And I carried that. When I say I went through that 12-step program on my own, I did. I went through the anger. I went through the depression. I went through the denial. I went through all of it. Blame placing. I went through it all. But it took me, the final the nail in the coffin was when it started hurting me physically. Because one thing we don't realize is all the pain and hurt and trauma and triggers and whatever else that we're holding in, trying to survive. What happens is if you don't get it out, it will internally turn back on you. So a lot of people feel like, okay, they get cancer, They get ulcers, they get diabetes. I can go down the list. All of the autoimmune situations, and we have a tendency of blaming it on, well, it's in the family. Okay, well, did you ever think that it's in the family because the family has not fixed it? Did you think that this trauma that your mom has or your dad has not healed from transferred into you, and now you're carrying it and you don't even know why? Have you noticed some of the situations that you've gone through? Did you ever go back to say, what did my parents go through? What did my grandparents go through? There's a cycle of it. It might not be exactly the same thing, but it's there. We have to sit back and ask questions. I was the question asker. I asked the questions. I wanted to know. So even though I had those who didn't want to talk because they rather look at it from the standpoint of, oh, we had a happy life, and my spirit is going, you're lying. You're lying. You had a happy life at a certain point, at certain points in your life, but then there are also certain points that you had a lot of hell going on, but you chose in your mind, in order to survive as a child, you needed to create this happy life so you could make it through. But the trauma's still there. You heard it. It was there. I was the one that understood that. So I took it all in, and then I transformed it and I spat it back out. Be open, be honest, talk about it, figure out a way, get counseling, get therapy, get whatever, find what fits with you. But most of all, put yourself first for a change. Put yourself first for a change, because you can't be honest with anyone else until you're honest with yourself. That's true healing. You can't help anyone else until you help yourself. You have to put on your own oxygen mask. We're trained to be the nurturers. We're trained to be the strong. And if mama not happy, no, or what is it? Happy wife, happy life. But at the same time, what mama got to go through to be a happy wife? We're not thinking about that. We just think she's strong. Yeah, she's a strong woman. Yeah, but do you realize all the chaos and hell she's going through just to keep a happy life? It's not easy being a woman. It's not easy being us. So talk, find someone to talk to. You know, I have a group now called something Sisters. It's a group right now on Facebook.
Sisters Rising Together, her group.
Thank you. Sisters Rising Together. And my goal is to get these women. There are so many women in there. And I have a group of women like you, such as yourself, that talk, because you guys get it. We're on the same page. We talk, we support each other. We're there. You know, we try to get, but now we have another group of women who are in there who are just like, peak, okay. Peak, I see what they're saying. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything. And I have to pull names out. Where you at? What you doing? So my thing is, why are you in this group if you're not here to heal, if you're not here to get help, if you're not here to participate? You may have a story in there that could help one of us. Even as counselors and coaches and therapies, we're not perfect. We still have a life to live. So you may have something that you've gone through that can help us. All of us are here. We're supposed to be in this hand in hand together. And we can't do it alone. I don't care how much you try. I tried that. It didn't work. I almost ended up in the Bay over there in San Francisco. That didn't work. And I'm gonna tell you, it was real peaceful over there when I was at the Bay. I was like, oh, that water looks so pretty. See? I was about ready to jump. It was not pretty. I can laugh at it now, but I'm serious when I say this. You know, don't let it get to the point where you're at your last end and you're like, I just quit. You know, it's important.
Melvinia, you know that I love you dearly. And I am so, so, so proud of you. And I'm going to say this out loud and in front of everybody, of where you are right now, of all the work that you put in, and for the deep understanding, really, from the journey, what you've been through, the healing, what happened. And what I absolutely admire in you is because you are bold and you dare to share. And I absolutely loved when you said that everyone has a voice. Please, guys, just talk. Talk it through, find someone, find a group, find a person, go and talk, because this is really, really, really important. It's when you share, as Melvinia said, yes, someone might recognize themselves in your story, and you might hear not just yourself, but someone else as well. And that's why I literally love the work what we do, what we all of us do. And to get to do this work what we are doing, we had to go through it, all of us, which was a hell of a road. But it's okay. It's okay. Because as long as we know who we are, and you know that you are light, right? When there is just a little tiny flicker of light, they are much more than that though. Darkness, it's not darkness anymore. And that's the beauty of it. And yes, I know your group. And Olia said, I am so proud of you too. You are the beacon for all others. Yes, and I cannot agree more. That's true. That's true. So you guys, if you are watching this now, or you're gonna watch this on the replay, it doesn't matter. Please reach out to Melvinia, because I think she's been through everything. She did the work, really. She did. And if you just want to talk to someone, she's the right person. If you've been through any moments what she just shared with you today, because she shared a hell of a lot, reach out to her. And again, and that brings me to where people can find you. What programs can you offer them? How do you work? Do you work in groups? Do you work in one-to-ones?
Well, I do all of it. So let's see. I am.
And she's also is really a master.
Yes. Yes. What you just say? I'm sorry.
That's the internet. I said that you are also, energy healer. You are Usui Reiki master. You are many things. So there are a lot of things where you can literally help people. So bring it on, baby. Where can they reach you?
I can be reached at, you can see me here on Facebook under Melvina Ford. I think I may change that to Reverend, kind of give it so they can kind of figure that out, but it doesn't matter. Melvina Ford here on Facebook. You can inbox me if you want sessions. My website is www.rebirthholistic.com. And not only that, I am a 2 certified life coach. My most recent is Empower, Achieve, and Succeed. We have, I love saying that right now. And it's under the tutelage and the production of Enoya Foti, who is my shaman grandmother, big sister. And I'm working with her and yourself, Krisztina, Dr. Krisztina.
Okay, thank you.
And also another person, Therese Teasley. We're all working together, and we're pushing out the program for Empower, Achieve, Succeed Masterclass. And it's to help you figure out literally who you are. If you're interested, and we also have other programs underneath that. If you're interested, as far as mastery, self-mastery, meditation, I have Reiki, I have art therapy classes. We can do it virtually. I do groups, I do one-on-ones. Wow. Music therapy is another one. Touch therapy is another one if you're local. But I can also do it distance. There's always a way to make anything happen. It's possible. I just feel like, let's do the work. Let's get it done. Let's start healing so you can live your best life, because you're worthy. You deserve it. and you're supposed to. It's not meant for you to live a painful, tragic life. We're supposed to use those things as experiences only, but not to take us out, and not for us to sit and muddle in it every year. Before I go any further, this was something that came up in my mind, and I want to say it because it hit me this morning. And I thought about it. It was something that I posted. When we lose a family member, some people, or a lot of people, I don't know how many, they choose to celebrate the death of that person. Us as a African American community, we choose February instead of a lot of celebration. We choose to find the painful moments that our ancestors went through. Let's try to flip that around and find the happy moments that they did. Celebrate the good things that they did. Celebrate the positive that they did, because the pain, what does the pain do? The pain continually festers in us. Who wants to hold on to that pain? Because again, like I said, that pain internalizes. And every year, who wants to be angry every February? I don't. Who wants to be upset and hurt every anniversary of that person's death? I don't celebrate my parents' days of the day they passed. I don't. I recognize their days that they gave birth, because their birth is the reason I'm here. I celebrate the fact that I get to live my best life through the positive things that they planted in my life. I celebrate all those things. So I just wanted to share that, because while you're wanting to heal, you got to be ready to let go of the pain. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. That's beautiful. And thank you for sharing that. And only I said a celebration of life. Yes, a celebration of life. And you said it really, really right, correctly. And I want to ask you a question, if may I?
Yes.
Your website is called Rebirth Holistic.
Yes.
Can you tell me about why Rebirth Holistic, where it comes from?
Then this is the funniest thing in the world, because I didn't even know it until probably about 6 years ago. So I initially came up with the name of the ministry. It was Rebirth Dimension Worldwide. And then it changed to Rebirth something else. Trust me, it changed, but Rebirth stayed. So then it changed to Rebirth Holistic, because I started learning things on the metaphysical side and started learning more about my physical, who I am, or like this, what I am as spirit. I realized that I'm spirit, not flesh, and I'm in a costume, and that's a whole nother thing. And someone used to be like, well, I don't want to scare you guys. No, I need to shake you loose, because if I don't give you this information, I'm holding it in and it's not helping you. So yes, we're all spirit. So the holistic side, that's where the holistic came from, because in order to heal, we need to understand who we are as a whole, the part we play here on earth while we're here, and all the other things that go along with that is so much. And we have been so programmed into thinking that, no, that's wrong, no, that's evil, no, that's dark, no, that's the devil, no, it's a lie. It's a lie. I'm sorry, it's a lie. And I hate to say it like that, because technically there's no right or wrong. There's just another way. There's another way to look at everything. But if you really are looking into what you truly are, which is not a who you truly are, you are a spirit and you don't die. So stop there, Melvina. But
no, don't stop. Go ahead. Don't stop.
Okay. I can hear Noya in the back. Yeah, tell her. Okay, but you don't die, you stay alive. This is an experience. You put on the costume for however long you're supposed to, just like the Lion King movie or the Lion King stage play. And when you're done with the play, you take the costume off and you go back to being who you are. Same thing with our spirits. We're putting on a costume and we're in this body. And when we're done with this body, however long, however short, however it happens, however we come and go, it's done. You do not die. You are still alive. You are still a spirit. And you've taken on this body to learn some experiences and understand what it feels to be like to be in this shoe, to go through this process. You understand the pains, you understand the hurts, you understand all of it, the joys, everything. You just get it. And then you go back and go, okay, so everything they told you in church, it's like, well, you get judged. No, you go back and you review what you did. Oh, I could have did that differently. I understand that now. Not, oh, you're going to hell. No, stop telling people that. I'm sorry. Stop it. That's why we all rickety right now. But so Rebirth Holistic, that's where it came from. And then what was funny is I had an affinity towards the Phoenix. Don't know why. It just kept pulling to me. Phoenix, Phoenix, Phoenix. So I said, okay, it was Phoenix Infinity. That's what happened. It was Phoenix Infinity. Then it changed from that to Rebirth Holistic somehow. I don't know. But anyway, I learned that I learned that the Phoenix symbolizes rebirth.
I have one on my back.
See? And I remember that the movie X-Men and how Jane was one thing and then she transformed into a phoenix. And at first I thought it was a bad thing, but then I understood, said, no, when she changed into the phoenix, she was free. And it was just uplifting and just freeing for her. She was she fought it for the longest, but when it happened, she was at peace. Hence rebirth. So I put holistic on the tail end of it. And so now my tagline, my logo is a phoenix woman, and it has infinity at the bottom, because this is where, and should be always our end goal. New life, forever.
Thank you so much. So you guys, I love this woman, number one. Number two, you just got a glimpse of who she is and what she's capable of. Number three, I'm gonna read. I hope I'm gonna get it right this time. Okay, you can reach out to her on rebirthdimensions@gmail.com, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And on rebirthholistic.com. And again, I'm gonna put everything in the comments so you guys can reach out to Melvinia, and I can keep you here forever. It's a really long time though, forever. But before we close today, I always say to my guests, I do not like to take advice, and I'm not going to ask for an advice. But what I would love to ask you is to share a message. What would be your message or a final words today on the Truth Runners before we go?
Live your truth. Live your truth. Live it. Stop living in the limelight of what everyone else will say or whatever everyone else will think. Find your path. Everyone that's in your light, or everyone is in your path right now, is to help you get to your own path. There's a seed that they're planting. There's an experience you're supposed to have. Not for you to just, not for them to become the all in all for you. But seriously, for you to gain who you truly are and get back to who we all are, because at the end of the day, we're all one. I don't care where you come from, what country you come from, what color you are, what size of your shoe is, whether your eyes do this or not, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, whatever road that you take on this journey, all of us together are still going back to the one creator, the all. So live your truth. Take what you need, spit the rest out.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I absolutely love you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us, for watching, for the lots of comments, for the lots of hearts what we received today. I'm going to get back to each one of you after this live. Thank you once again for joining us for Truth Runners. I'm so grateful. I think, what do you think, guys? Can we have Melvinia once again back? I think so. So Melvinia is going to return to the Truth Runners talk show soon, right?
I would love to come back. I love it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Melvinia. Thank you, guys. I'm going to see you next time. And until then, I'm sending you lots of love, light, and blessings as always. Bye for now.